compliments of the new year, guys. Hi guys, happy 2025, you guys. Hi guys. Woo, I'm so excited. I don't even know why I am this excited, but I think it's just because the new year always brings about new possibilities, new opportunities, and generally just a new and a beautiful life. It's always exciting to live in moments that you never thought so figure so cross over. Happy New Year, guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If it is your first time on my channel, my name is zaahndile.mhlonga. A lot of people call me Za, but because you and I are now friends, you can also call me Za. Thank you so much for allowing me the pleasure to infiltrate your spaces in the coolest way possible. If there's one thing that, guys, please subscribe to my channel. Yeah, before we get onto the chase, please subscribe to my channel. Anyways, guys, if there's one thing that I've always struggled talking about, it is my postpartum experience and my postpartum journey, how it was for me and how it felt for me, especially because every time I'll think about it, I'll just want to cry. Like, I'll just want to cry. Sometimes even when I have thoughts about it, I'll just internally cry, or I will just cry because it's one part of motherhood that I was so uncomfortable talking about because I felt like it's gonna embarrass me. I'm too cool. I have this motherhood thing on lock, and imagine me telling people that I actually struggled a bit, not a bit, a lot. That will be so embarrassing. Anyways, guys, this video is me sharing with you guys my postpartum journey, my postpartum experience. I titled this video Postpartum Almost Killed Me, My Child, and My Marriage, because literally that is the truth about it. I'm actually going to start about me. Okay, I'm gonna speak about me, speak about my child, and then speak about my marriage, and then close off this video. This is the second time I'm filming this video. The first time I tried filming this video, I cried so much I had to stop, and I was like, you know what, I am going to go back again and try again, you know. So hopefully this time this video will make it out. I hope it will make it out. A disclaimer that I want to make is the fact that I did not make this video to scare anyone. If you are going into motherhood, I don't want this video to scare you. I just want to give you awareness. If you are already a mom, please do not be shy to comment down below with your experience and how you were able to move on from your experience, or how did you make the experience bearable for you. This is for educational purposes, and our experiences are all different. I might have gone through the most, but probably you're not going to go through the most. Hopefully you don't go through the most. Anyway, so for me, how it almost killed me as a person. First things first, my birth plan did not go as planned. I planned to give birth naturally, especially because I knew that we are not going to get help, and it was just going to be me, my partner, and our newborn baby in our 2-bedroom apartment, very far from home, very far from his home. So it was just going to be the two of us doing this parenting thing together. Gandhi. Yeah, that was the first mistake, because when I went to the hospital, because my labor did not happen the way that I had wanted my labor to happen, and then eventually we rushed to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, I was told that I am going to have an emergency C-section, and when I tell you that was the beginning of my problems, but I did not know how deep my problems were gonna be from there, you know. So when I was told that I'm going to have an emergency C-section, obviously, guys, I don't know, let me not even say obviously, for me it just felt like my whole entire life is going to be over because of the things that we always hear from people, like from home where I come from. Actually, let me not even speak for everyone else. I was told that if you have a C-section, whenever it gets cold, you're going to get sick. When it gets cold, you're going to get sick. So the whole of winter, you're going to get sick. When it gets cold, you are sick. Your operation is always going to be painful all the time. Your tummy is not going to go back to where it was. You will be sick. You will be in and out of the hospital. Your life is just going to change. And also there's a possibility that you might die in theater. And also even the part where they give you forms to sign and they're like, here, you know, you feel like really you are signing your entire life away. So from that onset, yeah guys, I my mouth, you see, I'm a yapper. I yap a lot, né? But immediately when they said to me, you're going to have an emergency C-section, that's what happened for me. I literally felt like, I'm silenced for the rest of my life. Anyways, we thank God's grace because I was able to have the C-section and everything went well. But I did not anticipate what else will happen after that. The experience with the C-section, because I didn't know, I didn't research it. Biggest mistake of my life, not researching a C-section and how it happens and all of those things. So when I was in hospital, I wanted to go home so badly because I felt like it was so difficult for me to navigate around taking care of a baby and not being able to move, because when you give birth with a C-section, you need to lie down like this for entire 24 hours, but you need to take care of your baby, but then you can't move because also your organs must go back to where they belong. So that was such a very tricky situation. And I also felt like, you know what, also guys, before we get into a part of my C-section and me wanting to come back home, immediately when I gave birth to my child, because I had just had this traumatic experience and this traumatic operation, when everyone came to see me and the baby for the first time, I felt so erased, I felt so invisible, and I felt so lonely because literally I gave birth at 1:30 and the hospital that I gave birth at, visitation hours starts at 2 o'clock. So my family literally came immediately when I was wheeled into my bed, and my child, literally they had just given me my baby. So when all of that happened, these people came and no one bothered to be like, hey, how are you? No, everyone was just jumping to the baby. Like everyone was just like, jumping to the baby, not caring that I am literally paralyzed from here down. No one no one cared. I felt like no one saw me, and then like from the traumatic experience that I had, I know this might sound selfish, but this is my experience and I'm just gonna share it with you guys. So it's just like, what the heck, like those people don't see me. Hi, it's me. No one saw me. It just felt like, wow guys, wow. Anyways, and then I was like, you know what, I want to go back home because I know that when I go back home, I'm sure it's gonna be easier. I'm with the language, guys. So then now it was time for me to return back home. The other thing that made me feel so sad and so useless was the fact that, guys, I couldn't breastfeed my child. I'm laughing now, but it was not funny. So from the onset, when I was handed my baby, I was instructed to feed my baby. Guys, breastfeeding is not as natural as I assumed it was going to be. And now I thought you just take the boop, because that's what they were saying. You take the boop, you put it inside the child's mouth, the child will know what to do with it. I had inverted nipples, meaning that my nipples were not popped out, they were inside, and so my child couldn't latch on my nipple. My child was crying. Well, the tears couldn't come out, but I was crying internally. So that was another thing that made me like, you know what, I want to go back home, because here they're not giving my child formula. You have to fight in order for you to get formula. Anyway, so good for me, I was able to go back home. Guys, Ganzi, you know what? So when you're in hospital and you've had a C-section, right, you are given medication, pain medication through a drip. You know, very strong pain medication, so much so that when you're in hospital you do not feel any pain. Come home, sneeze, cough or laugh. I didn't know, guys. I went into this thing very blindly, like I didn't know, and my first cough almost sent me to, I don't know. And there's something about after birth that makes you want to sneeze, and when you sneeze, I only sneezed and I coughed when I came home. And if I explain to you the amount of pain that I felt, guys, they give you strong pain medication when you're still in the hospital and you think that you are fine. When you come home, they give you Panado. So tell me, imagine they jump from the sedation from, sorry about the pen, guys, I made notes so I don't go lane alley. I want to go straight, you know. But I'm already going lane alley because I'm such a yappa. So now they give you Panado to come home and use the Panado as your pain medication, I guess. I came back home. When I came back home, my partner bought our baby formula. So now I'm just like, you know what, my life is finally rosy.
I'm finally happy.
My life is finally rosy. I'm finally happy. Yay. Khanti mo way. That is where my tatas were going to begin. And then now I didn't know. So I came back home and we were breastfeeding. We were giving the child formula and all was well according to me. So, but also remember, I had this thing, right? And this is the me thing that actually drove me into an even deeper and darker hole. I said to myself, girl, you couldn't push your baby out naturally, right? So you need to make sure that you learn how to breastfeed your child. That is the project that you are going to do. You can't fail both ways. Like, you can't fail to do every natural thing, you know. Like, so I felt like my body was betraying me when I'm trying to make my baby latch and my baby is not latching, and my boobs, they were engorged because the milk was there. Like, so my boobs were painful. My boobs were sore, guys. My boobs my boobs were big, my boobs were enormous, my boobs were gigantic, and I was just like, oh my god, the pain that I felt that time. I don't even know how to pump manually, and at the time I didn't even have a pump because now I didn't breastfeed. I didn't research breastfeeding. I just thought you take the boob, you put inside the baby's mouth, and that's it, you know. Shame. It rocked me to a point where, like, now the only thing that was making me sad was the fact that I felt like I am such a failure at this motherhood thing. It's literally been 2 days and I failed to deliver my baby naturally. I'm failing to breastfeed my child. And if I tell you how all of those things made me feel, they made me feel so horrible. And if that was not the worst problem that I had, you know, when I was in hospital, the nurse, this very kind nurse, will take my child and disappear with her for some time, you know. At the time I didn't even worry about safety, guys. I didn't worry about safety. I just wanted like rest, you know. So now I come back home. When I come back home, I don't know how my child figured out time. So her wake window, like, hey, my child would wake up every night from 8. We'll start crying from 8 until 4 o'clock in the morning. From 8 until 4 o'clock in the morning, every single day. Come on, come sun, comes. She was crying every day. And my partner had recently started a new job when I went to give birth, so he couldn't be home 24/7. And then now, like, even when we are up at night, because also the most frustrating thing was the fact that you are carrying this child, you are trying to console this child, you are giving this child a bottle, nothing was consoling her. She used to cry, and you know, you just don't want to feel like a useless parent. You're just moving up and down with her and all of that. So it was just like, yo guys, it was I can't even explain it to you. And that time, by the way, you are dealing with a C-section, right? And that's a massive operation where they cut, I think, about 6 layers, which is like so intense. Like, you're still in so much pain yourself, and you have to be up nursing this child, making sure that this child at least finds some console. And this child is not consolable, but every time it says 4, she would sleep. And as if that was not the worst of it, if there's anything that is wrong with a newborn baby, your colleagues, my child had all of them, meaning that even during the day, I remember with my sister's child, like she'll sleep so much so that we'll miss her and we'll get so bored and we're like, where is this newborn baby? Mine did not. Mine was always screaming for Africa, guys. Like, my child was always crying. There was a time where I felt like my child was sent into my life. Like, there was, like, you know, like when you have a baby, you're like, God has blessed me so much. For me, my child changed from being a blessing to becoming a burden, because I felt like she was being selfish. She was not understanding the fact that, Sana, I've just gone through a major operation and I'm literally struggling. Like, I can't. So there were times where my child would cry and I'll just cry with her. Like, I will cry with her. I remember, like, I will cry with her, or like my child would sleep because she has put me through so much. I'll just sit down and bawl out. Like, I will just cry it all out. Like, I will cry. I will cry because I felt so useless. I felt like what is it that I am doing so wrong? Like, I just felt like, and also as someone that literally suffers from diagnosed chronic depression and anxiety. I was on medication for those things, but like I stopped eventually. That's a story that we're gonna devour some other time. So I got so scared when all of those things were happening, so much so that, because guys, remember I had an operation, nah? So like, because I felt like my child was frustrating me, and like I would want to cry in the moment. So when I can't cry in the moment, you know what I used to do? When I'm cleaning my operation, I will push it so hard, like, so that it's painful, and then I'll cry, you know. And that's so dangerous, guys. Like, that is literally so dangerous. So I used to attempt to self-harm, especially with my operation, especially because I read somewhere that like if you push, like if there's some damage that happens with the operation, you can die. So at that point in time, literally I just felt like even if I die, like it's fine, because this child does not see me, like this child, I'm bony at all, this child does not recognize the amount of trials I'm doing, you know. And so every day felt like I am fighting for my life. Every day felt like I am fighting and I'm struggling for my life. Not to mention how I thought like when I come back home after giving birth to a child, my body will just go immediately. My stomach was still like, my stomach was even saggy. Yeah. So now that also frustrated me, because I felt like, what is this? Like, what is happening here? I couldn't find a proper sleeping position, because remember when you are pregnant, you sleep in a certain way. I love sleeping on my back, and I had to stop sleeping on my back as my tummy grew and all of that. And then now I started sleeping with my tummy in between my legs, and even that, when I came back from the hospital, that was not comfortable. So now like I struggled so much resting, so much so, guys, like, you know, there were times where I'd feel like if I don't close my eyes, I am going to fall. Like like that's how dizzy I'd feel, because guys, it was so intense, so much so that when I went to remove my, I don't know if they're called stitches or staples, I don't know, like when you have a C-section, I know other people don't have those things, so they need to remove those things. So for me, my blood pressure was very high, very, very high. So I lied about my blood pressure being high, because that guy was flirting with me. So I was like, you know what, I did not get the results, because I was just like, you know what, if I prioritize my health, you know, who's gonna take care of my child? Who's gonna take care of my child? And all of those things are very dangerous. Seriously, like I could have died. Like I literally could have died, but thank God that I did not die. So yeah. Also, guys, another thing that put me like mentally down was the fact that like I come from a family of like 9 kids from my mom's side, right? My mom usually gave birth to 9 kids, but my mom had the tiniest waist you can think of, you know. You can look at my old pictures for reference, right? But so where I come from, my mom used to say like after giving birth, we are bob. Now you have to tie your tummy so your tummy can go back to its natural state. Don't be lazy. So here I am with like pains in my tummy. How the hell am I going to tie my stomach? How? With stitches and all of that. And sometimes like I'm cleaning this thing in like the most proper way. Guys, and I was all by myself. Like I was all by myself. Like I know I usually make a reference to this, but guys, like mothers are so important and mothers should live forever. My mom, knowing how painful childbearing is and having given birth to me, I'm sure if she was alive, she was going to make the experience like bearable for me. Like so much so. So another thing that I did that almost killed me was the fact that I cut communication channels with people that are good for my sanity. I told my best friend that she must not talk to me. I told my sisters that they must not talk to me. I told them they must not talk to me because I want my own space in order for me to figure everything out. The reason why I did not want to talk to them was because I did not want them to hear me suffering, because literally my voice sounded like I was crying almost every second second because I was literally crying, you know. So I was like, guys, don't talk to me, like, don't, if someone is dying, you can text me, but don't talk to me. And so I lived in isolation, and I couldn't really say like, guys, I'm struggling, guys, this is this, guys, this is this. So I was all alone, no one to say oh my goodness to. Like, I was literally all by myself, new one, crying when my baby cries and all of that, you know. Let's go to the second segment, right? How postpartum almost killed my baby. Actually, should we go? Actually, let's do the second segment and say how postpartum how postpartum almost killed my marriage. Nah? You often hear a lot of people ask these questions. Why do couples break up after they have a baby? Why do couples break up after having a baby? Now that I have a baby and I was in a couple situation, I understand. It makes sense to me. Like, it makes sense for me. I wanted a divorce. I wanted a divorce. Like, my husband was my least favorite person during that whole process. Like I told you guys, he needed to go to work because he had recently started a new job and needed the money because we had a newborn baby in the house, right? But I think for me, the biggest challenge was the fact that I couldn't communicate how I wanted my partner to help me. I felt like my partner needed to figure it out himself because this is also his baby, right? And one thing that I did not realize was the fact that certain things are not black and white for men as they are for us, because we are the ones that carry the baby, and immediately the motherhood thing kicks in immediately, right? So for me, I felt like Sana, he needed to prophesy and tell Wuti, now your wife is craving this, you need to make her this, don't make her that, you know. So my partner used to cook, right? He used to cook, he used to tidy up around the house, and then he would leave, right? So for me, I always felt like he had it nice because he could leave, you know. And I was so jealous of him, and I was so angry at him. I was so angry. I had postpartum rage. Like, I was so angry. Like, his sight will frustrate me. Also because I felt like I had a C-section because of him. Like, I'm being cut into layers because of you. I have this baby that does not shut up because of your genes and because of you. And I have to deal with so many things, and it's all because of you. And I feel like you don't see me because you are always paying attention to this baby and not me. I'm born, like, you don't see me at all, you know. And so, like, guys, when my partner says one, I was always ready for war, like, all the damn time. And my first thing that used to come into my mind was the fact that I want out of this marriage because this person does not see me. He does not see me. Any small thing he does, because I was already aggravated because of the things that I was going through. I wanted a divorce. I wanted to scream at him. And you know, like, when you are screaming at someone literally like almost every single time, and you feel like they are not you feel like the person is doing the bare minimum. They're not doing anything. You just feel like, what? You just feel like, so the tiniest thing that the person does will frustrate you to the core. Like, it will just make you angry. I remember there was a time where I asked my partner to go and get me face cloths for the baby, right? You think that's a basic thing. You think that's like something that everyone knows of, like, it's just a face cloth, right? My partner went to this camp and he came back with face cloths that were this small, and it was like a packet of like 6, and they were like very soft, like nothing like a face cloth, you guys. The way I was so angry, I was like, this person is useless, you know. Like, I was going through my diary and I read how I was just like, you know what, immediately when I am strong enough, I am leaving this marriage because Sana Asoze, there is no way. There's no way. And when I shouted him and he will retaliate, this person hates me. He hates me. So that's that. Like, that's, so it just felt like, Sana, you came into my life to destroy my life. I had such a peaceful life before you came into my life, and you put a human being inside of me like that I now have to take care of. No, boss, I have no. So that is what happened. Like, so our relationship was in such a very toxic state. Like, it was so toxic. Like, it was bad. Like, it was so bad. It was bad. Like, I won't even camouflage it. It was literally like horrible. Like, lastly, how postpartum almost killed my baby. This one is very emotional for me. Like, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment that has a balcony, right? And guys, I don't know if I pray and I hope someone that has experienced this, please comment down below, right? I always felt like I have the potential of harming my child, right? I always felt like I had the potential of harming my child to such a way that I felt I didn't feel safe with being with my child. C2, just the two of us. I felt like it was a room for disaster. Like, I felt like I did not trust myself around my child, so much so that, like, when there was a time where I was like, you know what, I actually need fresh air, let me just go stand by the balcony. I went to the balcony, and 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, 2 seconds, like, let's say like 10 seconds, I felt like, you know, like when you know that something is wrong, I felt like I had the potential of throwing my child off the balcony and my child dying. And immediately when that thought crossed my mind, I ran so quickly, I closed the door, and that was the last time I went to the balcony until my child was about 3 months, you know, because I felt like, what the heck, what's going on, right? And as if that was not the worst of it, when my child was 3 weeks, motherly instinct kicked in, and I was like, no, something is wrong with this baby. Like, something is totally wrong with this baby. The baby looked very dry. Like, a lot was happening. The child was crying, and she had like diarrhea that I did not even understand, you know. And also, by the way, like, as someone that doesn't have like a lot of people in her life, as someone that doesn't have like a mom or someone that I can reference to, like, in terms of babies, so I relied on Google and TikTok and YouTube, right, to find information about things that are happening. So when I went to Google and I was like, my child had diarrhea, they're like, take the child to the doctor. We went to the doctor. When we got to the doctor said, guys, take this child to the hospital. And already you can imagine when a doctor says take the child to the hospital, you can already tell that it's bad, but you don't know how bad it is. So we went to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, it was treated as an emergency. The child was admitted into a coma, and we're in like baby coma for like, my child was, imagine like, for your baby's like this small, now they're looking for veins to try and put in a drip. Guys, I don't want to cry. I'm not going to cry. There's a mirror that side, so I keep looking at the mirror so I can think about how beautiful I am, so then I don't have to cry, because I don't want to cry. Okay, so now they're looking at a vein to try and insert a drip inside your baby, right? And your child is sick, she needs to have antibiotics inserted and whatnot. And I know I've already spoken about myself, but at that point again, I felt like, yeah, I'm such a failure. Like, I am failing at this motherhood thing. It's not even funny. Like, your child is 3 weeks and you're already admitted. Like, Sana, you are not capable of taking care of this child. Like, you are not capable at all. You can't take care of this child. So it just felt like, oh my goodness, like, what the heck? And also, guys, like, the emotional toll like it took on me was so much, because I felt like when they said like my child is dry, like and she lost so much weight, because I gave birth to my child, she was 2.8 2.8 something, close to 2.9 when she was born, but at the time she was 3 weeks and she was 2.1. Her weight was 2.1, so the child is losing weight instead of like gaining weight, you know. And then again, now it goes back to the fact that, like, Sana, my milk, like, there's no way, you know, like. So it just felt like, wow, like. And then now they're like, okay, cool, now because my partner bought formula for our child, but I was very stubborn to say I want this child to be on breast milk, you know. So I would not like give the formula as much. And the doctor said to me, let mommy, a fat baby is like the best baby, so let's let's mix feed the baby because we can, you know. Let's give the baby formula to make sure that when the baby leaves here, her weight is fine. I'm not going to let the baby go home when her weight is not fine. And mommy, how is breastfeeding? And that's when I got to speak about my experience, to say, oh my god, like I struggle, and she's like, no, I'll arrange someone to come and help you with like breastfeeding and stuff like that. And she prescribed medication to say, these are the pills that you need to take in order for you, like if you want to breastfeed, we'll support you and make sure that it happens for you in the right way, because when the baby gets dry, the baby could potentially die as well, you know. So now, but they didn't know what was wrong with the baby, so they were looking at possibilities, because also like your child has diarrhea and they're getting dry, you know, because that's what you wanted to say, like, no, it's not your milk, it might not be your milk, it's just like the baby has diarrhea, you know. So, and guys, also I think I forgot to add something on my part, right, where and this is not to say traditional medicine is bad, like, and all of that. So the reason why we ended in hospital was because I was with, like I said, my reference was TikToks and all of that, because I was in so much pain. Like I was in so much pain when because I forced myself, né? So what I did was, when my child was 7 days, I was already up and about at the mall trying to find things. Like I told you guys, I felt like my partner couldn't do the things that I wanted him to do, so I felt like I'm gonna go out with this person. My child is 7 days, I remember, I think she was 7 days, yes. We were going up and down at the mall doing all of those things, and I felt like I could do it, right? The biggest mistake was that, Gucci, why are you behaving like Swazinega, girl? Like I don't even know Swazinega. My husband always makes the difference. I don't know if it's a him or her. So I wanted to be the Jackie Chan, no, actually guys, I wanted to be the John Cena, you know. And so like we were up and about at the mall, and guys, the pain after that, like I had to sit myself down. I had to, guys, like you know when people say like something will embarrass you, I was like, no man, it's not that bad, it's not that bad, it's not that bad, it's not that bad, it's okay, you know. Kanti, it's not bad. When the doctors say you must rest, please rest, because I didn't rest. And you know what happened to me? I was moving up and down, like I was in so much pain, and then I bumped into this girl's video on TikTok where she was saying she had a C-section, and because she needed to do the back and forth at the hospital as she had a child in the NICU, someone literally told her to buy this other African medication that helped her operation heal faster. And because I'm desperate and I'm in so much pain, I texted this lady and I told her, please, can you please hook me up? And she was like, don't worry, I paid for that thing. It was around like 300 rands, yeah. And then I got it, and then I bought that thing. It tasted like, you know, imbita, typically very like the way that you imagine imbita will taste. It tasted like that. But I was so dedicated to drinking it that I kept on drinking that thing. Sana Pella, remember, this thing does not have, you don't have ingredients, you don't have side effects, nothing. Hi Shem, as I was drinking it, my child was also going through it. I think I had drank that thing for 3 days. After that, my child started having diarrhea, and it went down from there. So even with that, like I blamed myself so much, because we don't know the cause of the diarrhea. We don't know. So it was just like, Shem, I suck. So why did I make this video? I made this video because I want to be your testimony, to show you that like there's a lot of things that you will struggle with in the beginning of motherhood, right? You will struggle with so many things, you know. Some people are fortunate that they have support and all of that, right? Some people are like me, wherein it's like they don't have support, right? So I made this video to say, like, even if you feel like, because postpartum is the loneliest phase, right, where you're so lonely and there's always people around you. So it's for a lot of people, like there's so many people, but you're all by yourself, right? For me, I isolated my group so I can be by myself, you know. But I was never by myself because I had a baby and I had my partner with me, right? And I felt so crowded, but I felt so alone, right? So I made this video because I want mothers to know that, like, whatever it is that like however difficult motherhood is, you will eventually get the hang of it. I still have some difficulties even right now that I struggle with, but guys, it's so much better. It is so much better. My child is 2 years old right now. I still cry when I reflect on this because it was the most painful time of my life, you know. But I have such a beautiful, healthy child that God has blessed me with. And if you had asked me how I feel about my child 2 years ago, around this time, because literally 2 years ago, around this time, my child was 1 month. Around this time, we'd just gotten back from the hospital. Literally, today is the 17th, né? Yeah, so my child was turning 1 month yesterday. So I think today or yesterday, we were coming back from the hospital with our child, you know. And I just want to tell you guys that it eventually does get better, and eventually you will find your groove in motherhood. Because one thing that I've learned is the fact that like motherhood is not a linear process, right? It's not black and white. We all figure it out in our own way and in our own pace. And so if you are struggling, adjusting or adapting, give yourself the grace, because Sana, you've done a magical thing by giving birth to someone, carrying someone for 9 months or however long you've carried someone, and being like the window to allow them to get into the world. Imagine how amazing God thinks of you, you know. Like God thinks you are this amazing person that has the potential to carry a life and raise it, you know, not just carry and raise it, but like bring it into this world, raise it, you know, for God. God trusts you like that to give you his person, you know, to position a person into this world. So like I know it's so difficult, and even for me it was so hard to think of the possibility. I was even laughing at myself, because I feel like I'm at this point where I feel like I'm starting to feel more and more like myself, you know. I'm starting to feel more and more like at peace, and I understand like who I am and all of that, and it's getting better literally like all the damn time. So in terms of like certain things that have helped me as a mom, let me just share with you guys like right now. So I want to tell you guys certain things that I'll do differently, right? If when I have another child, because I don't want to have one child, guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you and say because of the experience I had, no. The best gift my mom gave me was my siblings. The best gift my mom gave me are my siblings, you know. And I've lost siblings, but I still have siblings. So my mom knew exactly what, like, my parents, things I would do differently with my next child. It's still just going to be me and my husband, but in terms of me and my husband have spoken about the quarrels, the fights that we used to have. And with him, if there's a guy here as well, you can also tell us how like certain things made you feel. So my husband used to feel like, because for me, I wouldn't even want to rest and leave my baby with my husband. My husband will say, please go to sleep, I'll take care of the baby. I felt so like when my husband will hold our baby, I'll be there like fixing the neck. You know, like I'll be there fixing the neck. I would want to watch him and all of that. So he would always say like he felt so useless, like he felt like he didn't know how to help me. And because I was not communicating, I was always like because I felt like, and when I started communicating with my partner how help looked like, and I let him be a father to his child because that's his child, you know, it got better. I got time to rest, I got time to journal my thoughts, I got time to make affirmations, you know, which was something that was so big for me every single morning when I woke up. Like when it was getting better, you know what I used to say? I used to say I'm a good mom, I will be a good mom today, right? And I will say I'm a good mom, I'll be a good mom today, I love my child, I am going to breastfeed my child, I will successfully breastfeed my child, I love my new life. So it's like I used to say things like and like my child is beautiful and all of those things, and it made me feel so much better. And I started taking my camera, and then I started making my vlogs on TikTok, and I'll just share my journey with people and all of that. And eventually I got onto YouTube, and all of those things made me feel so much better because they made me feel like I had an escape. When my child does not want to sleep, it's fine, I'm editing anyways. Let's go. So much so that she ended up sleeping because I'm just like, what, I'm editing, let's go. And so just find certain things that make you happy outside of the child. Right now I regret not talking to my sisters, especially because my friend does not stay here. So with my sisters, I regret not informing them how difficult everything was, because I know for a fact that my sisters would have come on here and they would have helped me in the best way possible. Every time I tell them snippets of how postpartum was for me, they get so angry at me because they're like, but you always said you had it together. And I'm like, yeah, because I did not want to fail the same way I failed pushing my child out. You know what I mean? I don't want to diagnose myself with postpartum depression, postpartum blues, because I did not consult anyone to get a proper diagnosis. But those are some of the things that I experienced. And yeah, guys, tell me how your postpartum experience was for you. What were some of the things that you did that actually helped you? And as I am wrapping up this video, I feel like there was so many things that I wanted to say but I did not say. But I just hope that this video sort of shed some light as to certain things that you could potentially go through when you go. Guys, someone is playing music, but the song is so loud, so I feel like I am missing so many things. But you know what, that usually happens with a video like this, because I feel like so many things happened and it's been such a long time. And because I'm one person that usually loves blocking things that hurt her so much, I feel like doing a video like this would literally very be difficult, unless if I was doing it as it was happening. But honestly speaking, we thank God for his grace. We thank God that he carried me so far, and now you guys get, some people see me, and because the reason why, I think the main reason why I made this video is because there are people that see me and they're like, wow, you're doing this motherhood thing so well. And I'm just like, you guys don't know how difficult it was for me, and how I eventually got into a point where I could do it as well as I do it. I still doubt that I do it so well. I still feel like there's so much that I could do and all of that, but it just gets better each and every single day, and you need to give yourself grace. But yeah, guys, please tell me about your motherhood experiences, how it was for you, what were some of the things that you did that actually made the experience better for you, and going forward, what are you gonna do differently? Anything other than that, guys, this was it. Okay, this is therapy. YouTube is therapy, actually. Guys, YouTube is therapy. Start that YouTube channel, okay? Before I go, I'm realizing I forgot something. See, I'm on Title 2025. Don't forget to give this video a like, comment, please, engage, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for allowing me the pleasure to infiltrate your spaces in the coolest way possible. I'll see you guys on my next video. Stay blessed, stay beautiful. Bye. Happy.